tuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Standing, we'll give thanks to God for the blessing of this new day, and also commit to him what lies ahead, seeking his wisdom and guidance, so that all is executed well for his glory. Father in heaven, we want to thank you for the blessing of a new day. And we thank you, Lord God, that we are alive. And Lord, we thank you for the responsibilities that we have before us. And as we undertake them, we pray for the strength, the wisdom, and the will to execute them well for the good of your name and for the joy of your people of Uganda. In your name we do pray. Amen. Thank you. We'll take our seats. Welcome once again, members of the press, to this press conference where the chairperson will update the nation and issue or launch the program for conduct of administrative units, that's LC1 and LC2, as well as women councils and committees elections, but also get opportunity to interact with you on any other issues, electoral, things that you may bring to our attention. So once again, members of the press, welcome. Before us, we have the commission, and I will quickly, for those of you who may not know them, I'll quickly take you through the members in front of you. The Secretary Electoral Commission, Mr. Byabakama Mugenyi, is on the extreme left. Commissioner Emerald James Peter, and Dr. Simba Sali Kayunga, Commissioner Tashobia, the chairperson who is going to address you. We have the deputy chairperson, Hajat Aisha Lubega, Commissioner Carol Beina Mario, and then Commissioner Honorable Anthony Okello. We have members of management behind us who will be supporting the commission as and when needed and required. And you're welcome once again. Lord Chair, these are members of the press who have responded to the invitation. Members of the press, we know this weekend has been a soulful one. We want maybe to take a minute, a moment of silence to remember one of us who has been here all the time, Joseph Selwoza, who passed on and was buried yesterday. So a moment of silence in Emmanuel. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Yes, thank you. At this moment, without taking any longer, I would like to invite the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission to address us. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You have not eaten lunch or breakfast. Okay. The Deputy Chairperson, commissioners, members and staff of the Electoral Commission, the media fraternity, fellow Ugandans, ladies and gentlemen, all those who are watching us by whatever platform. On behalf of the Electoral Commission, I'm pleased to welcome you here, the media, to update the country on the program and preparations for the long-awaited administrative units, that is LC1 or village council elections LC2 or parish council, as well as women's councils and committees elections. As we all know, this program has been pending for a while, and we would like to thank and appreciate the people of Uganda for the patience you have exhibited up to now as you waited for the conduct of these elections. I would also like to thank the government for ensuring that the mandate of the holders of the said administrative units positions have been kept alive in accordance with the law to ensure that there is no leadership vacuum at any given time. And now, with the government having provided the Electoral Commission with the required funds, the Commission is ready to announce and inform the country today the program for the conduct of these very vital elections. As a recap, we are all aware that government put in place grassroots administrative arrangements or governance by setting up councils and committees at village level. To be specific, the Local Government Act provides that there shall be a village council in every village of the country, to be headed by the chairperson, deputized by a deputy chairperson, vice chairperson, and other members of that council. But we want to make one very clear, one clarification. There are two entities at the village level. You have the village council, and then you have the village executive committee. And I think that distinction is very clear, which we are going to highlight in this press briefing. You have the village council, then you have the village committee. Now, who comprises the village council? Who comprises the village committee? We are going to look at that for purposes of clarification. As a result, therefore, the Electoral Commission wishes to highlight some key activities and the dates for the said electoral program. Mind you, this program concerns both administrative units elections at village and parish level, and then women committees elections from village to national level. Again, the details will be given in this press briefing. The first task or exercise is verification of residents and compilation of the village register and update of the village women register. The Electoral Commission has appointed Monday, 6th of July to Friday, 10th July 2026 as the period during which village residents will register to participate in the administrative units elections. In order for you to participate in the village elections either as a candidate or as a voter, you must be registered in the village register as a resident. So the primary criteria here is residence, not origin. Not I'm born in this village, therefore I'm going to contest. No, are you a resident in the village where you are born? If you are not a resident, then you are not eligible. Because we know there are so many people who are born in certain villages, they don't reside there. So you must be a resident in that area. During this period, and I repeat, the period for registration of village residents is 6th July to 10th July. We shall highlight who qualifies to be on the village register. Who qualifies? At the same time, during this period of 6th July to 10th July, the Commission will also be compiling the Village Women's Council Register for purposes of the Women Councils and Committees elections. We have 2 elections, as I said. LOC1, LOC2. Now for LOC1. But we also have elections for the Women Councils at village level. The people who qualify to get to participate in the women's elections, you must be a woman, not transgender, please. You must be a biological woman. So that register, the compilation of that register will be taking place. At the same time, the register for residents for LOC1 elections is also taking place. So there will be 2 registration processes at the same time. The same place. Because the villages for women are the same as the villages for participants in LOC1's elections. We therefore encourage all eligible and willing residents to turn up in person at the registration center within the village or cell of residence to register their particulars. The total number of villages in Uganda as we talk today is 71,214. 71,214 villages. As I said, we want you to note and emphasize the fact that the registration process shall cover the compilation of 2 registers, then for women elections. The council register is of electing the village person. What's wrong with this thing? The compilation of the village council or general register for purposes of electing the village LOC1 chairperson and approval of members of the village executive committee. That is with the first register. The second register is the compilation of the village women's council registers for purposes of electing the village women's committees. According to the law, any person who is a resident, a citizen, 18 years of age or above, and willing to be a member of the village council are ones who are eligible to register in the village register. Are you willing? You might be a resident, but not willing to be a member of the village council. It's your choice. So if you are willing, step forward during this period and register. If you must also be willing. Are you willing to be a member of the village women's committee or not? But for women, let me emphasize this. For women, they will register in both registers. They will register in the village, in the register for their elections, and also in the register for the LOC1 elections, because they qualify to participate in both. The women will register in the village for in the village register for LOC1 elections, and also for women register for elections for their committee. The registration exercise shall be free of charge and will be conducted from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. on each of those dates. Please let nobody charge any resident for coming to register. Nobody should be charged any money. If there is anybody asking for money from any resident, they should tell us, and that person will be arrested. The registration exercise at village level conducted by a village election officer who will be appointed by the election. We are going to use appoint these village election officers or registration officers from the communities, from those very communities. A person must fulfill the following requirements in order to be registered in the village register. 1, he or she must be a citizen of Uganda who is ordinarily resident in the village of registration. 2, the person must be 18 years of age or above at the time of registration. 3, the person must be willing to be a member of the village council. 4, in the case of the village women's council register, the person must be a female and a citizen of Uganda, 18 years and above, and must be ordinary resident in the village. A person appearing for registration shall be required to provide the following particulars to the village election official: names, national ID card or national ID number or national ID application number. You must state your age. Of course, you have to state your gender. Then the village of residence. Under the law, every time an election is held and there is a process of registration of voters, the commission is required to display that register. And the display period of all these registers in all the villages shall take place from the 13th to the 14th of July 2026. The registers for the Women Council Committees elections and the registers for LOC1 elections, they will all take place on those 2 dates, 13th, 14th of July. The display of the registers shall begin at 8 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. at the designated open or public place in the respective villages. Made to understand that some of these incumbent LOC1 chairpersons had started the process of registering citizens as they were looking forward to the elections. Please, let me say this. The only registers that are going to be used during these elections are those which have been generated by the Electoral Commission. Basebo ne banyabo ba LOC chairpersons abaliwo kati abadde batandise okuwandiika abatuuze nga mukola register zammwe nga musuubira ze zigenda okukozesebwa mu kulonda. Ezo mpapula zammwe muzikuume eri, tetugenda zikozesa mu kulonda kuno. Tugenda kuteekako enkola y'okuwandiisa abatuuze mu register ezigenda kukozesebwa mu kulonda. Si ezo zammwe, ezo mubeere nazo mu bitanda byammwe, temujja kukkirizibwa ozireeta ku lunaku lw'okulonda. During the display process, we urge all residents to come and check whether their names are correctly spelled in those registers and in the village where they reside, together with their ID numbers. Was your national ID number rightly recorded or not? Are you recorded or registered in the village of your residence or not? And if there are any particular or there are any changes or corrections that you think should be made, then you should point them out so that the register is cleaned before we get to the day of polling. During the display exercise, we also encourage residents to identify the dead. Is there any person who could have passed on who is on the register of residents? The underaged, is a person whom you know is a child of so and so, but is not 18 years of age. Those who do not reside in the village, surely, maybe with the urban areas, I don't know how many people know their neighbors in Kampala here. I don't know how many. But one of the reasons is to check, does is Muwanga really a resident in our village or not? Because I'm told some people, they move from some village, they go and register in the other village so as to participate either as candidates in that village. You've heard of those stories. Abereri ne atajatya na abera wanunga chairman waffe. So these are the things we want to sort out during the display process. Now, for village women committees, the composition of village women committees comprises of the following according to the law, according to the National Women's Councils Act. The composition of village committees, of women village committees, is there's a chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, publicity secretary, and secretary for finance. Now, there is a fundamental difference when it comes to elections for women councils or committees and the village or LC1 elections. All these positions of village committees for women, which are 5, are elective positions. But for LC1 committee, the composition is 11 members, but only one position is elective on that day, the one of chairperson. So I think that's a difference that needs to be also understood. For women, all these positions have to be competed for, but not for vice chairperson, LC1, secretary for information. No, we shall come to that. Now, the Electoral Commission has appointed the period 15th to 19th July 2026. 15th to 19th July 2026 as the dates for the nomination of candidates for election of the 5 members of the Village Women Committee. Akakiiko k'abakyala k'ekyalo kabeerako abantu 5. Chairperson, vice chairperson, omuwandiisi, publicity secretary wona asasanya mawulire babiki, ne muwandiisi secretary for finance. N'ebifo ebyo byonna byakwesimbawo by'abakyala. Tutaddewo ennaku 15 okutandika ennaku 15 mwezi gw'omusanvu paka ennaku 19 abo bonna bagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bino obukiiko bw'abakyala mu byalo kwe kwewandiisa oba nomination. The nomination of candidates shall be conducted at the respective sub-county, town, or municipal division headquarters by the parish election official, starting at 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. on each of the above dates. Okwewandiisa kuno kwabo bonna bagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bino bukiiko bw'abakyala kugenda kubeerawo ku magombolola. Kati ojja kutambula gwagenda kwesimbawo ova mu kyalo kyewammwe ogende ku gombolola yewammwe, oba bw'obeera mu town ogende ku town council oba municipal division headquarters ogende ku town council headquarters bw'obeera mu town oba municipal division headquarters bw'obeera mu kibuga. By the parish election official. Parish election official yagenda kubeera nomination officer w'obukiiko buno bw'abakyala obw'ebyalo. Ngoku nomination okwewandiisa kuno nga kutandika essaawa 3 mu nnaku ez'ebbiri mpaka ssaawa 11 buli lunaku. Please carefully note the following. An aspiring candidate for any office on the Women's Committee shall be a female, ordinary resident in the village, aged 18 years or above, and a citizen of Uganda. Secondly, an aspiring candidate shall be registered on the Village Women Council Register. Thirdly, no academic qualification shall be required, and no nomination fees shall be required. Abo bonna abagenda kwesimbawo ku bifo bino 5 ku bukiiko bw'abakyalo bw'ebyalo. Ekisooka olina okubeera mukazi mu butonde, si bino by'okupanga bupange bino. Olina kubeera mukyala nga watondebwa oli mukyala. Ate olina okubeera mutuuze mu kyalo ekyo. Olina kubeera mu myaka 18 waggulu, ate oteekwa kubeera Munnayuganda. Ekyokubiri, olina okubeera nga weewandiisa mu registeri y'obukiiko bw'abakyala, village council. Manange ekintu kyekwewandiisa, bamanye abantu ba Uganda tebabifaako. Tebafaayo, essaawa bwetuuka ne balyoka ne bava mu tulo. Nange nimutuuze mu kyalo. Ekyalo kino erinnya lyali lya jjajja wange. Yatuuma ekyalo kino erinnya. Mu register toliimu. Bwe twagamba genda weewandiise teweewandiisa. Nolwekyo tokkirizibwa okulonda oba okwesimbawo ku kifo kyonna. Naye kye tubagamba abakyala nti mwewandiise mu registeri. Kubanga bwe twewandiisa togenda kubeera candidate wadde olina ebisanyizo byonna byetaagisa. Wadde abantu bakukirizaamu nti osobola kubeera mukulembeze mu kitundu kyewabwe. Obanga teweewandiisa mu register, byerabire. Ensonga endala, ebyokusoma tebiriiwo. Bino akalulu k'ebyalo kibiyo. Tetugamba nti abasoma mwesimbewo. Naye bano bataasoma batolina empapula z'obuyigirize, jangu weesimbewo. Ate teri kusasula nomination fees zonna. Bw'ogenda kuweewandiisa nga candidate, togenda kusasula ssente yadde 1,000. Togenda kusasula ssente yadde 1,000. Tebabalimbalimba leeta ssente tukuwani nedda. Teri kusasula ssente nga weewandiisa nga omutuuze mu register y'ekyalo. Teri kusasula ssente ng'ogenda kwesimbawo nga candidate. Campaigns. Oluvannyuma lw'okwewandiisa oba nomination, ekiddako ze campaigns. Kati okulonda kw'obukiiko bw'abakyala, campaigns zigenda kumala ennaku 3 nga zitandika ennaku 2 nga tukomekereza ennaku 22 omwezi gw'omusanvu. Campaign meetings for women council committees, village women committees elections shall be held for 3 days from 20th to 22nd of July 2026. The campaign meetings or public rallies shall be conducted only within the stipulated time, that is from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. on each of the campaign days. Nti campaign zino zigenda okubeerawo okuzitandika ssaawa emu ku makya paka saa 12 buli lunaku mu nnaku ezo 3. Kakati olunaku luli lwennyini, the commission has appointed Thursday, 23rd July 2026 as the polling day for election of village women committees of the 5 positions. Nti nga lwokuna ennaku 23 omwezi gw'omusanvu mwaka guno lunaku lw'okulonda obukiiko bw'abakyala mu byalo byonna bya Uganda, nga tulonda abakulembeze mu bifo bino 5 bino byennyonnyodde. 23 mwezi gw'omusanvu 2026 lye lunaku olw'okulonda obukiiko bw'abakyala. Polling shall take place in a public open place within the village and shall be by lining behind the nominated candidates or their representatives or their portraits or symbols in accordance with Section 11, subsection 2 of the National Women's Councils Act. Ntokulonda kujja kubeera mu lwatu open, oba mu kisaawe oba wa. Ate okulonda kuno kwa kusimba ennyiriri, candidate nga ayimiridde wali nga balonze bamusimba emabega, oba tasobodde okubeerawo ekifaananyi kye, oba ayina kabonero bw'abeera ayina ebendera ekibiina ky'obufuzi nga abantu basimba ku ebendera y'ekibiina oba erangi y'ekibiina kibabasa, oba tumuwadde egundi kubanga oli kande tulina oba simbo kinaye ensonga enkulu okulonda kuno kw'obukiiko bw'abakyala ku kyalo kugenda kubeera kwa line, okusimba line oba ennyiriri emabega wa candidate ng'ennaku 23 omwezi guno omwezi ogw'omusanvu. Kati now, as we mentioned, women elections start from the village up to national level. After the village committee elections for women. The next is the parish or wards women's councils elections. And the law says, the parish or women's council shall consist of all the members of the village women's committees in the parish or ward. Wetumala okulonda ku bukiiko bw'abakyala ku byalo. Kate kiddako kulonda kwa abukiiko bw'emiruka. Baani bagenda kubeera bakulembeze ku kakiiko k'emiruka. Naye kati kano kakulukiika abonna ababeera nga ba voters ku akakiiko k'omuluka be ba members ba executive committee y'ebiro. Balondebwa nga bakulembeze ku kakiiko k'ekyalo kw'abakyala. Bagenda ani agenda kubeera chairperson wa omuluka ebyalo ebiri mu muluka ogwo be bagenda kulonda kw'omuluka. The sub-county or town or division women's council electoral college shall consist of members of the parish or ward women's committees in the sub-county or town or division, and a representative of women with disabilities elected from among the disabled women in the sub-county, town or division through their structures. Mujukire ntokonda kwa abaliko bulemu oba special interest groups kwagwa kulonda kuno kutwakamaliriza kataba members abobo balindiridde okugenda ku bukomiti bunu obw'ebyalo LC1 na bukiiko bw'abakyala. The district or city women's council bova ku muluka katugenda ku sub county, then bova ku sub county genda ku district. The district or city women's council electoral college shall consist of the chairpersons of the sub county or town or division women councils and a representative of women with disabilities elected from among the disabled women in the district or city through the. We shall be explaining this as we go on with the program. The election of the executive committee members from the parish ward will be conducted. We have attached the program to this presentation, which we are going to give to the media. In a brief, the summary in the summary program. Now, even if these committees, we still have to use what we call nomination forms. So the Electoral Commission will be issuing nomination forms to all the candidates ward to the national level, issued alongside the display of the respective electoral college registers. We shall be explaining people of what is going. We shall be explaining to the people every stage and when to do it. Now those who are women, nsoso kunyonyola kukulonda kwa abakyala kwe kusooka. Omanyi lwaki kusooka? Kubanga akakiiko ak'ekyalo ka LC1 kuteekwa kubeerako abakulembeze b'abakyala oba omukulembeze w'abakyala. Nolwekyo bwe tunaamalira okulonda obukiiko bw'abakyala, chairperson oba omukulembeze w'abakyala ku kyalo ajja kuba amaze okukolako okulondebwa. Kati tugenda kulonda kwa LC1 abakulembeze ba LC1 oba ekyalo, omukulembeze w'akakiiko k'abakyala agenda butereevu okubeera ku ki ku LC1. Composition of LC1 Executive Committee. According to the law, there shall be an executive committee at each village, consisting of 11 members as follows: chairperson, vice chairperson, who shall also be secretary for children welfare, general secretary, secretary for information, education and mobilization, secretary for security, secretary for finance, Secretary for Production and Environmental Protection, Secretary for Youth, Secretary for Women and also the Public Health Coordinator, Secretary for Persons with Disabilities Affairs, and Secretary for the Council of Older Persons. Kana kakakiiko k'ebyalo kaliko bantu 11. Chairperson yalondebwa yekka ku lunaku lw'okulonda. Vice Chairperson, General Secretary nga bwe nnyonnyodde. Naye kakati bali bw'otuuka ku Secretary w'aba youth, kati oli yalondebwa nga Chairperson mu kulonda kw'abavubuka yabeera Secretary wa youth ku LC1. Yalondebwa kubeera Chairperson ku kakiiko k'ekyalo ka ng'ennaku 22 yagenda kubeera Secretary for Women ku LC1, committee ya LC1. Yalondebwa kubeera nga ko bulemu kulonda kule kwaggwa, yagenda kubeera ku kakiiko kanu ng'akiikirira abaliko bulemu. Yalondebwa kubeera Chairperson wa Older Persons oba abakadde mu kulonda kuno kwa kaggwa, yagenda kutuula ku kakiiko ka LC1 akiikirira abakadde. Now, njagala kutangaza kintu kimu. Waliwo kanso ku kyalo. Sinze teeka kanso abagirimu be baluwa be batuuze abali willing bagiyita bati abasazeewo abaagala kubeera nga ku kanso oba ku kakiiko k'ekyalo. Naye ate nibabeera komiti egenda kulondebwa abanaabeera bakulembeze b'ekyalo. Wali mu kanso ffenna tuli batuuze, tuli mu kanso. Ffe tulonda Chairperson agenda tukulembera. Kati waliwo kanso y'ekyalo ne executive committee y'ekyalo. Yenjawulo eriwo eyo. Executive ekyalo kirimu abatuuze bonna. Kanso mulimu abatuuze bonna. Abasazeewo babeewaddeyo kubeera ba member ba kanso. Naye committee mulimu abalonde bokka. Village committee mulimu abalonde bokka, abantu abalondeddwa Chairperson n'alooka alonda Vice Chairperson. Abakanso abatuuze abali mu register ne bagayo tumukkiriza oyo tumugaanyi atawanya amaka g'abantu wano tujja kumukkiriza abeere Vice Chairperson. Then ne kubeerako Secretary for Security, Secretary for Information, Secretary for Finance. Abo Chairperson yagamba nti kakati gundi mulonza abeere Secretary for Security. Abatuuze mugamba mutya mumukkiriza oba nedda? Bwe bakkiriza nga bawanike emikono. Abange bwe bakkiriza oli ng'ayitamu. Now, nomination for village LC1 chairpersons will also take place on the 15th up to 19th of July 2026 with nomination for women. Nomination for village LC1 chairpersons will also take place on 15th. Abo bagenda kwesa chairpersons b'ebyalo bagenda kwewandiisa ng'ennaku 15 paka 19 omwezi gw'omusanvu. Olunaku lwe lumu oba ennaku ze zimu n'okwewandiisa kuba bagenda kwesimba ku bukiiko bw'abakyala. Twasazeewo wano babeerewo nomination y'abakyala wa nomination y'aba LC1 chairpersons. Kifo kye kimu, lunaku lwe lumu, nomination officer y'omu nga yambibwako bakisoboka. The nomination of candidates for LC1 shall be conducted at the respective sub-county, town, municipal division headquarters, or municipal division headquarters by the parish election official, starting at 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Ekifo kye kimu, obudde bwe bumu, kutandika essaawa 3 mpaka saa 11 mu nnaku ezo 15 5 abagenda kwewandisa nga candidates obukiiko bw'ebyalo bwe bagenda kwewandisa. Please note the following, that elections for LC1 chairperson, even for women committees, are being held under a multi-party dispensation. Ntokulonda kunu kuliwo mu nkola y'ebibiina by'obufuzi. Bakitegeeza ki? Nti ebibiina by'obufuzi bya ddembe okulonda ani agenda obakwatira bendera obo be bamanyi enkola yaabwe. Babagamba nti gundi tukuwadde bendera jango gikime, be bamanyi. Oba bakolako nabo kulonda kwabwe be bamanyi. Ensonga enkulu eri nti okulonda kuno kuli mu biseera bino byaki by'ebibiina by'obufuzi. Nekyo tugamba nti ebibiina by'obufuzi mutandike enkola yammwe, nteekateeka yammwe y'okusunsulamu ani agenda kukwata bendera. So, aspiring candidates for election as LC1 chairperson may collect nomination forms from the parish election official, that is the nominating officer of the parish in which the village is located, from 9th to 14th July 2026. Nde empapula zino za fomu zoyina okuwandiikako amannya go, zoyina okuweeyo ngo ogamba nti ngenda kubeera nominated, oba nga oli okutte bendera ekibiina ky'obufuzi nga ekibiina ky'obufuzi kitaddeko stamp nga kikakasa nti gwe omuntu waabwe gwe bakwasiza bendera, ogenda kikola kigenda kubeerawo okutandika ennaku 9 paka ennaku 14. Mugende mukime formu zino, nomination forms, munaawandiika biki byetaagisa okulaga ku nnaku ku lwa nomination. Secondly, an aspiring candidate for village chairperson shall be a citizen of Uganda, 18 years and above, resident in the village where he or she intends to stand, and must be registered on the respective council register. Ngabe twanyonyodde mbadde njogera ku bikwata ku kulonda kw'abakyala n'abaana bagenda kwesimba ku bukiiko obw'ebyalo bateekwa okubeera bannayuganda myaka 18 n'ogenda mu maaso oba waggulu, ate olina okubeera mutuuze mu kyalo ekyo ky'ogenda kwesimbamu, ate olina okubeera nti oli registered mu register y'ekyalo. Kankiddemu bw'oteewandiise mu register y'ekyalo ng'olaga nti oli redde oba mwetegefu okubeera memba wa council y'ekyalo, tojanga candidate ng'omanyi ti weewandiisa, tojja kukkirizibwa kwesimba nga candidate. Another point, LC1 elections no academic qualifications as well. Abo bonna bagenda kwesimbawo ku ekifo kya chairperson LC1. Ebyobuyigirize temufaayo. Jadde oyina oba oyina batoyina bwejangu. Ebyobuyigirize tibyetaagisa. Ate teri kusasula nomination fees zonna. Yogenda ku kifo kya chairperson LC1 bya nomination fees tebiriiwo. Bwebiyigirize tebuliiwo, nomination fees teziriiwo. Ate bw'obanga omanyi oli mutuuze mu kyalo ky'Egindi, naye wano mu kyalo kino kiriraanye olinayo bizinesi, ssebo nyabo tebagambye tuwokolera bizinesi, bagambye wobeera mutuuze, oli mutuuze wa usula wa. Additional and detailed information on the nomination procedures are outlined in the guidelines. Tugenda kufulumya kituyita guidelines. Oba biki ebyolina ogoberera oba okutuukiriza ng'ogenda kwewandiisa oba ogenda kubeera candidate. Tugenda bifulumya tubiyita guidelines nga bwe tutera okukola buli lunaku. Era tugenda bifulumya mu mpapula z'amawulire nga tuyambisa media, tuwandikire political parties, tubiteeke na website yaffe, tukozese media. Campaign LC1 campaign meetings for elections of LC1 chairperson shall be held for a period of 8 days from 20th July to 27th July. Campaigns zabo nabagenda kwesimbawo ku chairperson mu byalo zijja kumala ennaku 8 nga zitandika ennaku 2 nga zikomeekerezeddwa ennaku 27 omwezi gw'omusanvu. Ankidde mu campaign z'ebyalo chairperson w'ekyalo w'ebyalo 2 gw'omusanvu mpaka 27 gw'omusanvu. The campaign meetings or public rallies shall be conducted within the stipulated time, that is from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. on each of the campaign days. Nti campaign zijja kukolebwa kuva saa emu kumakya mpaka saa 12 za regulo. The campaigns will take place and be limited to within the village of the candidates. Nti campaign zo kwesimba mu kyalo zikolere mu kyalo ekyo, togenda mu B ate kyogenda mu B kubanga abalonzi mu B tebagenda kukubira kabululu mu kyalo. Okulonda kwa LC1 chairperson LC1. Polling for election of village chairperson will take place on Tuesday 28th of June 2026 in 71,214 villages where the position is contested throughout Uganda. Polling for C1 village chairperson 28th July 2026. Please note, for purposes of this election, each village is a polling station. Tokulonda kujja kubeera ennaku 28 omw'omusanvu mwaka guno mu byalo 17,214. Ate buli kyalo ye polling station. Omukulonda kuno okw'ebyalo ekyalo ye constituency ate ye polling station. The village is the constituency and also the polling station. Voting will also be conducted in a public or open place within the village and shall start at 7 and end at 4 p.m. I will explain. Whereas we say it starts at 7, like the polling by secret ballot, where people come one by one, they vote, they go away. One by one, they vote, they go away. This is different, as we shall explain. However, we anticipate by 4 p.m. this should have been concluded. Again, election of the village chairperson shall be by the voters lining behind the nominated candidates or their representatives or their portraits or symbols in accordance with section 123 subsection 2 of the Local Governments Act. Ngokulonda kuno kugenda kubeera mu byalo kutandike wakati w'essaawa emu ne 10 kulonda kuwedde mu kyalo. Ate kulonda kuno kwa chairperson b'ebyalo kugenda kw'okusimba ennyiriri emabega wa kandi w'ekifaananyi kye akabonero k'ekibiina bw'abanga akutte bendera y'ekibiina ky'obufuzi amunigina oba independent, even if allowed in these elections, over independent candidate about supporters waba voters basimba emabega y'ekifaananyi kye. Now, this is the program concerning the activities on polling day for both women elections and village elections. Between 7 and 10 a.m., we expect all the willing members who registered as residents of village X to assemble at the polling between 7 and 10 a.m. When they assemble, they will be verified. This is very important. They will verify whether Byabakama is eligible to vote in these elections on the village register. Byabakama mu register y'ekyalo waali naye ajja kusimba layini oba agenda kubeera mu layini ng'omulonzi oba nedda. The register is the one to confirm that you will be in the line as a voter. Any register, the other register, the village register. So the verification process, we expect once all the voters have assembled, the residents have assembled, that process should do between 7 and 10. The process of assembling and verification should be done with. After verification of voters, nga bamaze okukakasa nti gundi mulonzi wano mu register. Kubanga bakakasa kati beera wali. Lindirira nno. Ekinaddako kugamba nti kati genda mu layini kulonda kutuuse. Kubanga teri kutusuula mu kabokisi byakabokisi tebiriiwo. Layini kakaba bonajja ne bakukakasa nti oli mulonzi ate n'otambula n'oddayo waka. Akakalulu kafudde. Akalulu kafu tekaliiwo. Kubanga tojja kulonda. Bwe bama kukaka mulonzi oli mu register y'abatuuze beera waawo beera mugumiikiriza. Now after verification, the next activity will be for education and briefing of voters on the procedures to be followed by the presiding officer. Nga baba amaze obakakasa nti kati muli abalonzi beba kino kati agenda kulondesa ajja bayiramu biki ebigenda okugobererwa mu kulonda kuno ku ssaawa eyo yennyini mu bimpimpi. Tusuubira nti bino byonna bwe bitambudde bulungi abantu ngo baze mu budde bamaze obasunsulamu oba bakakasa nti balonzi. Tusuubira nti essaawa 5 ku makya awo layini kamandi ya layini bujjangu akati musimbe akandi simuliwa nti tuli wano gwa yimirira awo gwe yimirira wali gwe yimirira tunula eri totunula emabega oyinza okugwa ekigwo nga shoke kuyiseemu. Kati mu abalonzi muluwa aha mutandike genda bagundi sawa 5 bwe mumala kuba layini oba kusimba oba kugenda munyiriri kati awo kubala ne kulyoka ne kutandika. Presiding officer nga yambibwako nga natandika okubala omu nga bwe baba bameka nkitegedde. Then okwo kulonda kwa chairperson nga kuwedde mujjukire nti akakiiko kaliwo abantu 11 naye olubifo nga 5 chairperson alina kulonda ani wagenda kukola nabo, ani agenda kubeera vice chairperson. Kati okulonda kwa kaggwa ekiina okuddako nga abantu banavaawo aba kanso ab'ekyalo akakomiti b'ekyalo ka kanso y'ekyalo balina okutuula awo. Chairperson alina okukola okutuula alina okukola okuteekawo amangu awo oba presiding officer kakati chairperson londa ani agenda kuddirira, who is your vice chairperson. Nga balonzi bakyaliwo abatuuze nga bakyaliwo kati chairperson ng'agamba nti gundi kati abantu bagamba nti tukkiriza nti oye then secretary for information then secretary for what nga bwe twanyonyodde byonna bigwera awo lunaku lwennyini. Okay, kati abo bamala komiti yonna bweba ewedde okubeera formed oba ogiteekawo, presiding officer n'alyoka ajjuza form EC11. After all this has been accomplished and the chairperson has nominated the other 6 or 5 members who are to sit on the village committee together with the other special interest group representatives, then they will fill form EC11. Please note, the following LOC1 committee members shall be nominated by the elected village chairperson from among the members of the council present and approved by the council one by one by show of hands. 1 vice chairperson. This is what I've been talking about. 2 general secretary. 3 secretary for information, education and mobilization. 4 secretary for security. 5 secretary for finance. 6 secretary for production and environmental protection. Chairperson yalonda abantu bano naye nga kakiiko kali ak'ekyalo ke kaba kakasa. Akakiiko kalina obuyinza ogamba tetumukiriza oyo. Nedda oyo abeera mutamiivu saawa bina kuva ku makya ku saawa 12 kati oyo n'abeera ate mukulembeze. Nedda tetukkiriza. Akakiiko mwe mulina obuyinza ogamba nti chairperson muntu w'olonze tumukiriza oba tetumukkiriza. The committee, these nominated committee members, confirmed committee members, shall join the village executive committee by virtue, no, the following committee members shall be part of the village executive committee by virtue of having been elected chairpersons of the respective village committees of special interest groups. 1. Chairperson of the village youth council, who shall be the secretary for youth. 2. Chairperson of the village women council, who shall be the secretary for women and also public health coordinator. 3. Chairperson of the organization for persons with disabilities, who shall be secretary for persons with disabilities affairs. 4. Chairperson of the village council of older persons, the secretary for older persons. Bwe tugambe nga bwenyonyodde nti bano chairperson alondeddwa ne bali abantu babataano balonze ne bakakasibwa akakiiko k'ekyalo. Kati bajja bano abalondebwa nga ba chairpersons ba special interest groups committees mu byalo. Kati bajja kubeera begatana bana balonda nako kulonda bakole committee y'ekyalo y'abantu 11 nga bwennyonnyodde. Right. LC2 chairperson and executive committee members. The members of the executive committees in the respective parish or ward will comprise the parish council purposes of election of the parish or ward chair. Nti abo aba member ba executive committee ko chairperson n'abantu 11 buli kyalo be babeera ba member council y'omuluka batakukulonda nga bagenda kulonda ani anabeera chairperson w'omuluka oba ward bobeera mu kibuga. Abalonzi ba chairperson w'omuluka be bali ba members ba committee y'ekyalo, si batuuze bonna ab'ekyalo naye bali abalondeddwa ne babeera ba members ba committee kuliko chairperson be bagenda kulonda chairperson w'omuluka. So the election of the parish chairperson, nomination and approval of the parish executive committees members will be conducted during program. First of all, the compilation of the parish or ward or LC2 voters register will take place on 29th of July 2026. The display of the parish or ward voters register will take place on the 30th to the 31st of July 2026. The nomination of candidates for parish or ward or LC2 chairperson shall take place on the 3rd of August 2026. Campaigns for parish or ward chairperson shall take place on 4th to the 9th of August 2026. When I talk of parish, I mean LC2. Ngawe tugamba. Polling day for election of parish or ward LC2 chairperson, 10th August 2026 nti okuteekateeka register y'abalonzi ba chairperson w'omuluka kugenda kubeera ngo ennaku 29 mwaka guno omwezi gw'omusanvu. Ate okutimba oba display kwa register y'omuluka kugenda kumanya ennaku 2 nga 3 omwezi gw'omusanvu. Okwewandiisa aba nomination kwa abagenda kwesimba nga ba chairperson ba LC2 kubeera ngo ennaku 3. Naye jjukira nti ssebo nnyabo twakirabako luli mu kulonda kwa 2018 omuntu tiyeenyigira mu kulonda kw'ebyalo naye ate najja ku LC2 ngunjagala kwesimbawo ku kifo kya LC2 naye olina okuyitira mu kulonda kw'ebyalo. Abakyala tiyeesimbawo mu kulonda kuli kw'ekyalo naye bw'atuuka ku LC3 ayagala yingirire awo kubanga ye standard ye ya LC3 si LC1. Nyabo bwanga tuwayitira mu kulonda kw'ekyalo tutawanya abantu. Ate bwanga wakwate bendera mu kyalo oba wajanga na munigina oba independent candidate tokyusa erangi ate bw'otuuka eri ku LC nga buno bukiiko bw'abakyala okutuuka LC3 awo erinnya ali independent naye kati njagala kubeera ekibiina gundi nga ku kulonda kwa LC3 nedda. Oba olina munigina ojja kusigala olina munigina oba independent you must remain independent. If you are a party flag bearer you must remain holding that party flag. You cannot change in between those elections. Campaigns za abagenda kwesimba kwa chairpersons bwemiruka kujja kubeera ennaku 4 paka 9 mwezi gw'omunaana. Okulonda kwa chairperson w'omuluka kugenda kubeera ennaku 10 mwezi gw'omunaana. Polling day for election of parish or LC2 chairperson shall take place on the 10th of August 2026. The issuance of nomination forms to aspiring candidates for LC2 chairperson will take place alongside the display exercise. Nti okugaba formu abo bonna bagenda kwesimbawo ku kifo kwa chairperson LC2 tugenda ozifulumya ng'ennaku oziweereza ozibawa ennaku 3 omwezi ogw'omusanvu. Kati awo okulonda okwa LC1 LC2 kuba kukomokerezeddwa ng'ennaku nga bwe tugambye ennaku 10 mwezi gw'omunaana kulonda chairperson w'omuluka oba parish chairperson. LC1 LC2 that will be the end. Naye bw'obukiiko bw'abakyala bujja kusigala bukyatambula kutuukira ddala mpaka ku ggwanga ku national level. Era okulonda bwe kuggwa kw'abakyala nakukumuka nakugenda kubeerayo ku muluka okwo kw'abakyala ku muluka kugenda kubeerayo ddi kugenda kubeerawo efoomu abo bonna bagenda kwesimbawo ku okulonda kwa chairperson kakiiko k'abakyala ku muluka. Forms nomination forms tugenda zibawo nga kutandika ennaku 9 paka ennaku 14. Nedda lindawo giro lindako okulonda kwenda kubeera 22. No, nedda don't no no. Now a register y'abakyala ku kulonda ani anagenda kubeera chairperson wakakiiko k'abakyala ku muluka. Register bagenda tugenda giteekateekanga ennaku 29 mwezi gw'omusanvu. Ate tugitimbe oba tugidisplayinge register y'obukiiko bw'abakyala ku muluka ng'ennaku 3 na 3 omwezi ogw'omusanvu. Jukira nti okulonda kwa chairperson oba bamemba bakakiiko k'abakyala ku kyalo kugenda kubeera nnaku 23 ogw'omusanvu. Kati kulonda kuno kwata ku abakulembeze ku obukiiko bw'omuluka kugenda kutandika ennaku 2 kugenda ebyetaagisa bijja kukolebwa nga tutandika ennaku 29 nga tuteekateeka register tugitimbe nga nnaku 3 mu lumu oba tugidisplayinge. Then nomination abagenda kwesimbawo ku komiti y'abakyala ku muluka kugenda kubeera nnaku 3 omwezi gw'omunaana. Campaigns zaba bagenda kwesimbawo ku chairperson ku LC2 obukiiko bw'abakyala ng'ennaku 4 kutunaku 6 mwezi gw'omunaana. Okulonda kwa bakulembeze b'obukiiko bw'abakyala ku muluka kujja kubaawo ennaku 7 mwezi gw'omunaana. Kwa abakyala bwe bavaawo ne bagenda kugombolola kati oba ku town council wa municipal division nawo waliwo obukiiko. Kati abo register yaabwe egenda kuteekateekebwa ng'ennaku 11 mwezi gw'omunaana 26. Tugitimbe oba tugidisplayinge register eyo kugombolola oba town council oba municipal division ng'ennaku 12 n'ennaku 13 gw'omunaana. Nomination of candidates abo nabagenda kukwesimbawo ku kifo okya sub county obukiiko bw'amagombolola oba town council bw'abakyala ng'ennaku 14 mwezi gw'omunaana. Campaigns zabagenda kwesimbawo ku sub county town municipal division women committees ng'ennaku 15 oba 17 gw'omunaana. When the women have finished or completed the sub-county or municipal or town division, town council or municipal division committee elections, then they move to district level elections. The district women's elections at district level. The register, compilation of women's or district or city women's register will take place on the 19th of August 2026. Display of the said district or city women's register will take place on the 20th to the 21st of August 2026. Nomination of candidates for district or city women committee elections will take place on the 24th of August 2026. Campaigns for the election of the district or city women committee elections will take place on 25th to 27th of August 2026. Polling day for election of district or city women committee elections will take place on 28th of August 2026. Okulonda kw'abakyala nga bwe ngambye kwe kukyatambula kyalo muluka gombolola wa town council municipal division district nga bwenyonyodde. Naye amateeka gagamba nti kuno kulonda kwa bukiiko bw'abakyala ku LC mu kyalo kusimba nyiriri kumuluka kusimba nyiriri kugombolola kusimba nyiriri naye bukutuuka ku district ako kakyama akaluka abakyala ku district kako ka box. Now after the district elections for women, now they go to the final one, the national election for the National Women's Council. This one will take place, the compilation of the National Women Council Register will take place on the 30th to the 31st of August 2026. The display of the National Women's Council Register take place on the 1st to the 2nd of September 2026. Finally, the National Conference for the National Women Council elections will take place on the 3rd to the 4th of September 2026. Now, the women elections which will have started at the village level on July 23rd will be concluded at the national level on the 3rd to the 4th of September 2026. That will mark the conclusion, the end of all these elections. The Electoral Commission wishes to appeal to all stakeholders to participate in the entire electoral program, which is progressive in nature, that is, from the village to the parish in the case of administrative units elections, and from village to national level in the case of women councils and committees elections. The Commission therefore urges all aspiring candidates and stakeholders to acquaint themselves with the relevant laws and the guidelines that will be issued by the Commission in order to appreciate their respective roles and responsibilities before, during, and after these elections. The Commission appeals to all political parties and organizations to study this electoral program and undertake the necessary preparatory activities, for example, election of the flag bearers for political parties, in a time so as to comply with the guidelines and requirements for each level for this electoral process. Basebo ne banyabo tubasaba nti mugondere oba mugoberere amateeka agakwata ku kulonda ebifo bino byonna. Nabiki akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kanaaba kafulumiza nga katangaaza biki ebirina okugobererwa oba okukolebwa oba okutuukirizibwa abo bonna bagenda okwenyigira mu kulonda kuno. Ate njagala babuule ekintu kimu basebo ne banyabo. Obukiiko buno bukulu nnyo 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 nnyo. Obukiiko bw'ebyalo bukulu nnyo. Obukiiko bw'ebyalo ge maaso n'amatu ga gavumenti. Bwaweebwa buyinza bunene nnyo n'okujjako tebamanyi bukozesa bulungi. Balina obuyinza okumonitoringa government programs mu bitundu ebyo byebe waabwe. Kyetumanyi teri ddwaliro oba teri health center etali mu kyalo. Teri ssomero etali mu kyalo. N'etteeka ligamba nti obukiiko bw'ebyalo bulina okuyinza okumonitoringa okulaba ebintu bino service delivery etambula etya. Ate n'etteeka ne libagamba nti bw'abaawo ensonga yonna mu kyalo kyewamwe tegeeza. The law says draw attention of the cow or the district chairperson or assistant cow waliwo ensonga wano ewaffe wano. Mukola ki eyo mutuddeeyo muwambadde masuutu wano tulina ensonga wano. Obuyinza obulina obukiiko bw'ebyalo. Nolwekyo mulonde abakulembeze be mumanyi ti bankizo. Abakulembeze abanaasobola okubeera ddoboozi yammwe. People who should be able, the LC1 committees have the power, councils have the power to monitor government programs in their respective areas. They have that power. The law says they have the power to draw the attention of the cow or the district chairperson or assistant cow on any matter concerning their area. So these things they are crying about, poor service delivery, the LC councils have the power to monitor and raise their voice and say, there's a problem here. Why is it not being addressed? They are the ones who recommend people who are fit to join the security services, to join the UPDF, to join Uganda Police Force, prison service. The councils, the LC council, they are the ones which have that power to vet the person who are fit to join the security services. They are the ones who are responsible to make sure law and order prevails in their areas. Councils, but you know, buyinza bw'amaanyi nnyo kisebo. Temugamba nti mulimu gwa kustampinga bustamping empapula nedda obuyinza babuyina. Twagala kulonda kuno leero kubanga mpulira abantu waliwo ekifo kimu kuliko ba chairperson babiri. Ekyo kijja kitya? Kuwayina okubeerawo chairperson omu. There must be only one chairperson. And the law clearly explains, if the chairperson is not there, who exercises that power? The vice chairperson. Si mukyala wo bannange stamp n'ogikiya stamp yafuuka yakika. Obuyinza bugamba chairperson wabanga tasobola kutambuza emirimu gy'ekifo. Vice chairperson yalina okutambuza. Chairperson wanga yafa. Vice chairperson yadde mu bigere bye. Mpaka kulonda bwe kunaateekebwawo. Balonda abakiiki abatuuze b'ekyalo abali mu register. Balonda omutuuze chairperson omulala anamudde mu bigere oli afudde. Obuyinza abasebo banyabo mu buyina obukiiko bw'ebyalo. Nolwekyo ku mulundi guno tusaba nti okulonda kuno mukwenyigiremu temukola emivuyo gye mwakola juuzi 2018 teweewandiisa n'ekiseera bukyatuuka ng'olabye ensi yonna eddindima ekintu kinyumye naye ate nze nsigalire mabega nange kangende ndonde ogenda kutuuka wali teweewandiisa mu register. Nolwekyo mukozesa akakisa kano ebiseera ebitutaddewo mugende muwandiise ebyalo byewanyu. Obukiiko buno basebo banyabo bukulu nnyo era abagamba nti simanyi obuyinza baabo bajjako bannange obuyinza baabo bawadda mutudde nabwo naye temumanyi engeri gy'obukozesa. Njagala kubeebaza. Thank you very much for listening to me. We pray that every Ugandan will participate in this electoral program and do so in accordance with the law and the guidelines for each activity. This will ensure a smooth electoral exercise for the good of our country, for the good of our communities. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you very much. Ndowooza ebibuuzo byonna mbizzeemu wadde temubuuzizza. Mpozi kimu bibiri. Tandikirawo tetulina budde. Bizemu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson. My name is... Hello? Thank you so much.
Hold on a minute.
My name is Annette. I work with you.
Can you hold on?
Sorry?
Yes.
Hello? Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson. My name is Annette. I work with UBC. My question is all about getting highlights on the readiness of the Electoral Commission regarding the Wednesday's polls in Kalangala district by-election exercise. Thank you so much.
Lord Chair, my name is Felix Cheyune, working with the Hill Post newspaper. Lord Chair, my question is about high level of nepotism in LOC committees. You have been here complaining that at least vice chairperson should be a person from family members. But when you look at the entire country, nepotism is not at high level. It's a grassroots. You find chairman, vice chairman is his wife, secretary, his daughter, what. So there is no law that prohibit that kind of nepotism. Two, you have not stated about the government officials who I think they are greedy for power. You find someone is a commissioner somewhere, but you're also eyeing for this small opposition. There is no any law that prohibits those kind of people to come in this local councils. Thank you very much.
Chairperson nze Kizito Musoke kola ne bukedde olupapula mu kulonda okuze kubeerawo okwenjawulo abakozi ba government public servants babagamba okusooka okulizayininga nga bagenda okwesimbawo ku mulindi guno kwerosi wanu kigenda kubeera kityana oba lizayininga oba beesimbawo. Ekyokubiri, tukimanyi bulungi nti omuntu takkirizibwa kubeera na bifo bibiri ebirondebwamu. omuntu weesimba okubwerusi wano ne bamulonda kwerusi wano ekifo kyakirekulira oba abeera n'ebifo bibiri nga bamulonda kwerusi 2.
Lord Chair, my name is Derek Wandera. I am a journalist with the Daily Monitor. It's going to be a little legal. Lord Chair, the last time we saw elections for the national committees, for national women's committees, was in 2018 August. There was an election that was supposed to happen in 2022 that didn't happen. And that means that the current or outgoing women committee, National Women Committee leaders have served for an extra term that was not elective at all. Would like to get an update whether there was any statutory instruments, or any amendment, and whether or not we should trust the legal process for this coming election. Thank you.
Chair nze Kawesi Farouk nkola ne JBS television online station. Ekibuzo kyange ngenda kigeraageranya n'akalulu akawedde akabonna aka 2026. Twalaba ebitundu ebimu ng'ababyokwerinda amaanyi bajjayo mangi naddala ku bantu ababa beesimbyewo n'abalonzi baabwe. Eddoboozi lyo likola ky'amaanyi naddala mu kalulu kano okwova okulangirira ke tugendamu aka LC1. Tusuubire okubanga waliwo omukwano wakati w'ab'ebyokwerinda n'abeesimbyewo saako n'abalonzi baabwe okusobola ofuna process ennungi.
Chairman, my name is Mary Karugaba. I work for New Vision. I just wanted to know why you think there should be no academic qualification for LOCs and women. Is it because they don't need to speak English, they don't need to sign, they don't need anything? Just tell us the reason. Sir, also, you've allocated 56 billion for the elections, and yet here we see that you're just going to line up. What exactly are you going to use this money for?
Lord Chair, a simple clarification here. My name is Richard Oluweng. Hope and do a breakdown on the statistics. We have the local council 1, 2 women council elections. How many vacant positions are there to be filled from all the categories?
Tuyanza nnyo ssentebe nze Luwanga owa Hope TV. Sebo ekibuuzo kye mbadde njagala okubuuza mu kulonda okwasembayo tubadde tulina bakansala abamu ate nga bassentebe ba byalo bwe balondebwa ku bwakansala tebazzaayo sitampu era baasigala be bakola emirimu egyo gye gimu. Ne ku mulundi guno kansala akyalina interest akyasobola okuvaayo waggulu n'addayo n'akima ekya wansi oba etteeka limukugira.
Misachera neyanza nnyo neyanze amanya nze omugabi Lubega Midwaswa nga nkola n'ekitongole ekya PAL FM. Ekibuzo kyange kiri nti eriyo omuwendo ogw'ensalira eri amanya nze omugabi Lubega Midwaswa nga nkola n'ekitongole ekya PAL FM. ekibuuzo kyange kiri nti eriyo omuwendo ogw'ensalira eri bachairman bano kubanga tulabye nnyo ogamba nti chairman afuna mutwalo omwezi bachairman bano batuuka ekiseera ne bagamba nti okufuna ne stamp yange ojja kuleeta emitwalo 2 n'okusayiningako obusayiningizi ku kiwandiiko kyonna oba ogenda kufuna ndagamuntu nga kimwetaagisa esente zayinza okuba nga akusalira okusobola okuba nga akuteerako stamp. So kiri nti waliwo ko omuwendo gw'ensalira chairman gwayinza okuba nga afuna okutaba nga atunda stamp eno neyanziza.
Lord Chair, Derek Ondera again. This is a little bit away from here. We're getting news from Kalangala that the NUP has been forced to cancel their last campaign rally because of the security situation there, following the fact that President Museveni will be campaigning in the area for the NRM. We would like you to help us understand how this comes about, what it means to the right to campaign for the opposition, but also if there is any legal interpretation to this. Thank you.
This is a truckload of questions. Now I will start with the last question by Derek. I have not received that information yet. I don't think the commission has yet been availed with that information about the forced, you call it forced, postponement or cancellation of the NUP candidates campaign rally. I have not received that information. I think I would rather comment when I've got appropriate and thorough information regarding that aspect. However, in general terms, all I can say that before the candidates hit the campaign trail, they are supposed to harmonize or agree on their to avoid a scenario which Derek says he has learnt about. The schedule for the candidates is supposed to be agreed upon right at the inception or immediately after the nomination process has been concluded before the returning officer. However, the candidates also are at liberty to amend or revise their campaign schedule in consultation with one another and in agreement with one another. The programs for the leaders, respective political parties, the leaders of the political parties participating in the electoral process, have to be aligned to the harmonized campaign program in the electoral area. So I think that's all I can say, but as I say, as I'm standing here, I'm not yet privy to that kind of information. Now, on the issue of they call it honoraria, which is paid to the LOC chairpersons. I think this matter has been discussed at various fora, and it has been said this amount is very small or inadequate and should be revised. Now that is a matter, I think, for the Minister of Local Government. I don't know whether Parliament or Finance. It is not for the Electoral Commission. But all I can say that any amount of money charged by LOCs is not legal. I think that was clarified one time, that they are not supposed to charge any money for these services, because any amount of money any government or elective office charges must be defined in the law. If it is not prescribed in the law, then the office holder has no right to charge that money. But that is something that should be indeed looked at. If you look at the responsibilities that they have under the law, that money, the powers that be can consider or look to that matter. Now, the law is very clear. You cannot hold on two elective positions. Toso tokirizwa kubeera mu bifo bibiri oba na bifo bibiri bilonde. If a chairperson of village X was elected as a councillor of a certain area, then that person must relinquish one of the two. Either you relinquish the position of chairperson, LOC1, or secretary of women, whatever, or you relinquish one of councillor. If you think the stamp is heavier than the one of councillor, then you relinquish the councillor position. You cannot hold two positions. Omuntu takirizibwa kubeera na bifo bibiri. Obanga wali chairperson w'ekyalo oba w'omuluka naye kati juuzi walondebwa kubeera councillor, stamp gite zaayo stamp y'abantu. You don't have to have that stamp with you. No. You are now you are holding another political or elected position. You cannot cling on to that. But these are things that will be sorted out, I think, after these elections have been concluded. Now, on how many vacant positions, Richard or Wayne? First of all, as I said, we have 71,214 villages. All those are to be contested for. The parishes, I think they're about 11,000, about 12,000 parishes. Okay? All those are to be contested for. The positions, all those are now. That is for administrative units. Now, when it comes to women, you have to go by, again, the number of villages are to be contested for women. Number of parishes to be contested for women. Number of sub-counties, I think the sub-counties are about 2,300. Those are to be contested for. The districts, we know how many districts there are. Then town councils, you also have to look at town. We shall give you the details of that. Districts, there are 146 districts. Then the national level is only one. So we shall give you a summary of the total of those elective positions. Now, Mary, the issue of academic qualifications was set in the law. It is the law which stipulates that no academic qualifications are required for one to contest for leadership at LOC1, LOC2, or women councils, committees, elections at village level. It's the law which spelled out those requirements. Now, but maybe on the issue of academic, maybe let's look at the functions. The functions of these committees. It says functions of administrative functions of parish and village executive committee, the committee of the elected leaders. Section 52 of the Local Governments Act. The parish or village executive committee shall oversee the implementation of policies and decisions made by its council. Nti abatuuze b'ekyalo kibanaabanga basaze bikolwabwe nga batuuze bali council banaabanga basazeewo komiti gye balina okiteeka mu nkola bye basazeewo balina okiteeka mu nkola ate n'ebirala bye balina okukola and shall, the said executive committees shall also assist in the maintenance of law and order and security. Initiate, encourage, support, and participate in self-help projects and mobilize people, material, and technical assistance in relation to self-help projects. At the village level, vet and recommend persons in the area who may be recruited into the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the Uganda Police Force, and the Uganda Prison Service and local defense units. Serve as the communication channel between the government, the district or higher local council, and the people in the area. Communication channel. These are executive committees in the villages. Then generally monitor the administration in its area and report to the higher or district council. Then generally monitor projects and other activities undertaken by the government, local governments, and non-government organizations in their area. Then carry out other functions which may be imposed by law or incidental to the function in this area. Those are the committees. But for the councils, ali abatuuze becha. What are their powers or functions? To draw the attention of the district chairperson, the chief administrative officer, and the assistant chief administrative officer at the county level, or the chief at the parish level, to any matter that rouses their concern or interest. To draw the attention, okutegeza, so batia, bambuwandike, katoli, wabatamanyi, aina secretary, wanga tamanyi kuwandika, secretary gwe mulimu gwe, haja kuwandika, yaseeko mukono. Waliwo ensonga wano, etuluma mu kyalo kyewaffe, jangu secretary gwe mulimu gwe, wandika bwoti, oli ateekeko mukono. The other function at the parish level to resolve problems or disputes referred to it by relevant sub-county or village councils. To resolve problems identified at that level. To monitor the delivery of services within its area of jurisdiction. Monitoring the delivery of services. Village council. Council ya bonna batuuze bonna. Si committee yokka. Oluguudo lwaffe wanu nga lumaze emyaka 2 terukolebwa. Mutubuulire esente ze babawa ku district okola oluguudo enguudo zirimeka. Luno oluguudo lwakitemuluteeka mu programu. Myaka 2 tractor teruyitangamu. Kyogamba emyaka egi yonna temufunanga sente z'okulabirira enguudo. Gwe mulimu gwa councils zino obukiiko bw'ebyalo. Naye kyabasomye tubasaba mubeere mu bukiiko bw'ebyalo. Namwe abasomye mubeere mu bukiiko bw'ebyalo. No bwoba osomye, even if you're a civil servant, you are supposed to be a member of the village council so that you guide these people. That's why you stay. So, then naturally, another thing, to assist in the maintenance of law, order, and security. The local councils are the eyes and ears of security. To carry out any functions that may be assigned to it by the district council or higher local government. District yinza ogamba nti local council mukole muni waliwo essomero watuwaddeyo essente essomero y'egindi mugende mulabe eddala omulimu gutambula gutya. Oba kakati local council health center yewammwe tuwaddeyo eddagala bwe liti. Mukole mu bwambega mulaba aba doctor aba banasa bakolamu bakukusa eddagala. Igwe mulimu gwabwe. So kataawo nze omukulabo kwange the issue ekyogamba nti oba basoma tebasoma kikiri mu mateeka. Naye bwadde tebasoma abasoma basobola okubeerawo ng'omuwandiisi n'awandiika bintu byetaagisibwa. Now on the 56 billion, Mary, you think that is, since the process is only lining up, shouldn't require such money? Do you know we are going to recruit village election officers? We are going they are going to conduct the registration of residents in every village for, is it 80 days, as I indicated? We are paying them a minimum. How much, Richard, are we paying them? 10,000 katwalo butwalo buli lunaku per day buli lunaku lw'omuntu omu. So times 8 times 71,200 14 villages. The display we said is about 3 days, over 4 days. Nomination, polling. On polling day, how many are we going to employ at every polling station? The presiding officer and how many? And 2 other polling assistants. And we are paying them how much? 20,000 polling day. You do the arithmetic yourself, Mary. Find out. So the bulk of this money, therefore, is going to pay allowances for the people who are going to work in these elections. And remember, for the women, the process continues up to national level. And remember, the women, we are having double elections at village parish level in those numbers for LC1, LC2, and women. So on women council, women village committees elections are taking place on 23rd July in all the villages, 71,000 villages. They have their own nomination process. So when you do the calculation, then you come to parish, you find, I think, almost 90% or 80% of this money. Almost, I'm just guessing. Don't take the percentage. But the bulk of this money is going to pay allowances. And it's only 10,000 per day. Only 10,000 per day, per person. Then, role of security, Farouk. Security in elections in Uganda is necessary because of the way we conduct ourselves during elections. But their role should be confined to executing their mandate under the law, period. The role of security should only be confined or restricted to what they are required to perform or to execute or to carry out under the law, not to interfere with any electoral process. So we are going to engage with the leadership of the security services and emphasize this point, that let the people do what they are supposed to do under the cover of law and order maintained or put in place by yourselves. Period. Yes, Derek, I don't know, I don't have it with me here, but I understand when the term for administrative units committees was being extended, the same process was also applied to women committees. So I don't have that statutory instrument with me here, but we shall try to cross-check and see. But what we all know, that the term for those women committees also expired, and they are due for elections in this round. Public servants, as I said, a public servant is entitled to be a member of the village council. But when it comes to elections and the multi-party dispensation, you're a public servant. Are you going to say, for me, I'm holding the flag of this party, when the Political Parties Organizations Act prohibits public servants from engaging in political party activities? How are you going to do it? So that's why we say, if you want for any elective position as a public servant, then I think you must relinquish your office. You're not going to hold the flag of this. Okay. Thank you. I'm being informed here that the commission is going to fill 503,068 offices for LC1, LC2, and women councils and committees from village to national level. 503,068, 503,068 offices. Now, you wanted to say something about public servant? Yes, yes, sure. Give him the microphone. Can you give the commissioner the microphone?
Thank you, my lord. I just wanted to supplement the information on public servants about the law, section 16 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act. Is a member of Uganda People's Forces, Uganda Prisons, a public officer, a traditional or cultural leader or person employed in a company wholly owned by government shall not, Part D, engage in conversing in support of a political party or organization or of a candidate sponsored by a political party organization, but section 1 section 129, which is that starts from section subsection 4. I don't know what this machine. Can the office annual leave is person of government, employee of local council, or an employee of a body in which a government has a controlling interest who wishes to stand for election to a local council office shall resign his or her office at least 30 days before nominations. So public office, you cannot stand for a party. If you wanted to, you would be prohibited. Section 129. Public officials, public office to resign if they are going to stand for any political office. I so submit, my lord.
Thank you, Commissioner Simon, for that clarification. Now on Mr. Kizito Musoke Bwana Kizito, I think I've already answered the issue of holding two elective officers. Oli bwabanga yalon kakati nga kitugendo okube ekigendo kubeerawo bakulonze kubeera chairperson LC1 namukulonda kwa omuluka ne bakulonda kubeera chairperson LC2 kiba kitegeeza nti kire kifo kya LC1 olina okukirekulira oba si kyekyo ojja kutunamo naye kwa LC2 wali ne LC1 stamp egenda mu ndagaano ndabanga ya LC1 wangize kansigala kusalawo ku gosalawo ogenda kusigala wa ogenda kubeera ku LC2 ogenda kusigala na stamp nange stamp ya LC1 ezadde bizibu. So it is, you cannot hold two positions. Ekyo nyakinyonyodde. Kyeyune mwami kyeyune nepotism mu bukiiko kankinyonyole bwenti mwami kyeyune abuuziza ensonga nkulu chairperson vice we mukyala secretary mwana oba secretary information oba kiki mukodomi mukodomi nekabera eyo katensobi eri nabali abakakiiko k'ekyalo village council kubanga yateeka ligambye nti chairperson bwemmala mulonda kati ye n'alonda ani agenda kubeera vice mwe mulina omukakasi bw'alonda omukyala we ne mubeeraawo nga omukyala ng'ayingirawo ne kanso erina obuyinza owange gwe muwambi kati ensonga munaazimaliranga eri mugwe mu bedroom yammwe ensonga zaffe nedda tetujja kukkiriza oyo mukyala tetumukkiriza naye oyinza okusanga omukyala ate ye mukozi nnyo okusinga ne mwami aba ne baga nti owange omukyala oyo bwanaabeerawo ajja kuyambako chairperson waffe. The point is ensonga gyenyonyo egamba nti abakakiiko k'ekyalo council not committee be basalawo ani agenda kubeera ku kakiiko k'obukulembeze bw'ekyalo, ani agenda kubeera ku committee. Kati chairperson bw'alonda omwana we kubeera secretary ab'ekyalo balina okugamba nti tukkiriza oba tugaana. So nze ku nsonga eyo omusango nguteeka ku bamemba b'obukiiko bw'ebyalo. Bayinza kubanga bagamba nti family enu etukodde mulimu munene mu kyalo kyewaffe. Ate mulimu abantu kwegamba bagezi basoma oba balinako ku ssente oba biki simanyi oba ddiini nnyo. Ndowooza ebyobukulembeze bw'akakiiko kano akatubi bakwase n'abantu be balina okusalawo ab'akakiiko k'ekyalo abatuuze ba kanso. Nolwekyo ekyo nze sikiramu na bwekuba nti ab'ekyalo bwe basazeewo kirina okubeera kitambule. Kati awo nepotism onoogamba nti chairman si yasalawo nze ngidde omukyala ye vice mwe musirike. Ab'ekyalo be balina okugamba nti tukkiriza oba tugaana. Okay. Kalangala. For okusinziira according to us, the preparations for the by-elections of women member of parliament in Kalangala, which are scheduled to take place on Wednesday this week, are on course. As we talk now, we have delivered all the materials to the district, which we hope on Wednesday very early morning they will be distributed to the various polling stations in the district. We have already finished the process of printing ballot papers. The candidates were well nominated. They are all known. We did not receive any petition arising out of the nomination for this by-election in Kalangala. So as far as we are concerned, everything is on course. Apart from the incident Derek has referred to, which, as I say, we are not privy to, and therefore I'm not at liberty to comment about something whose material facts have not gathered. The campaigns, I think are going smoothly, and according to the law, the campaigns are supposed to be concluded today. I and my colleagues, the commissioners, and other members of staff of the commission will be in Kalangala to oversee how this exercise is moving on. We have just come back from Kikuve, where we had the by-election the other day on Thursday. It went on very smoothly. My colleagues and I were all in the field, supervising and monitoring how things were moving on. It was a very, very peaceful exercise. At no single polling station did we learn of any incident or did we hear that any violence or disturbance has taken place. We want to commend the people of Kikuve, and we are appealing to the people of Kalangala as well to conduct themselves in that manner. But we also want to appeal to the people who are going to move to Kalangala or who are already there. Please, Kalangala has been very peaceful. Don't stir up the emotions of the people because you want to score a political point. Let whatever we are doing be done in line and in accordance with the law. Abantu be Kalangala basigale n'emirembe gyabwe n'obutebenkevu tubasanze mu babaddemu ne tunaaba tuvuddeyo bagende mu maaso n'emirimu gyabwe. So kusinziira kuffe eby'ekalangala byonna byetaagisa okulonda kuno okubeera ku lunaku lwokusatu. Enteekateeka tugimaliriza ebintu twamaze obisindika mu disitulikiti era ku lunaku lwokusatu Mukama ng'akkiriza tusuubira nti byonna tugenda bitambuza bigende mu bifo bironderwamu. Naye mujjukire nti Kalangala kifo kya njawulo, teri kifo ekiri nga Kalangala kubanga ebizinga biri nkaaga simanyi nkaaga mu bina 84 ebizinga 84 ate nga kasita balonzi babeera ku kizinga. Electoral Commission eteekwa okuteekayo ebyokulondesa. That's the difficulty of holding elections, that we are required to go whoever the voters are. We are required to deliver materials. And the major means of communication, or I'm told, is on water. So it is our duty, our responsibility to make sure those materials are there. We invite you, members of the press, come and see. Maybe at times when you see these things in action, you will say, "Banange, into yokulonda okuteeka okulonda." Olusi bibeera megumba. Na mwebale nyo mwebale ddala mwebale kujja Mukama bakuume mwebale ddala. No, this is local. Olulimi lwaffe abanyoro n'abatooro kyali muli okulungi mwebale muno. Hati tuli hano. I know Mary is going to ask me to speak. After here we have a meeting with the commissioners to prepare for Kalangala, so I'll not be able to conduct one-on-one interviews with the now abanyoro n'abatooro tuli hano kyaleero tu n'abakiga n'abanyankore nimbazo runyakitara musibire je mwebale. Tuli aha twatongoza program y'okulonda kw'obukiiko bw'ebyaro. Twagamba nti okulonda kw'obukiiko bw'ebyaro nikugenda kubaho ebiro 27 omwezi ogw'omushanju konka tuza kubanza kuteekawo bukulonda kw'obukiiko bw'abakyalo mu byalo kuza kubaho ennaku ebiro 23 ebikwetaagisa byona tuza kubaha programu tuza kuba ntubasobolora tujja kuba ntubagambira bike bigenda kuhonderwa omukukoma kunu okw'obukiiko bw'ebyalo n'abakyala. Kyonka obukiiko bunu bukuru muno mu byalo by'owanyu kandi bw'oraba n'oyenda kuba kwesimbaho rundi kubanga n'ogenda kuteera kalulu rundi kukoma omukalulu kanu bwabanza wehandikise mu register. Bw'oraba otehandikisize mu register yona tokujja kuteera kalulu kandi kujja kuikirizibwa kwesimbaho. Nabweki muhondere program ya Electoral Commission nuko ebintu bili batekuru. Mukama balinde. See you in Kalangala, you people, if you know how to swim.
Thank you, Lord Chair, for the statements and responding to the questions that have been presented by members. Members of the press, the detailed statement has been issued on our groups. It is also uploaded on our website, and you can access it and follow up the finer details. Otherwise, with that, we want to thank you very much for coming around and relaying the message. For many of you, it has been live on air. We appreciate that very much. Our campaign for voter education is going to commence so that our stakeholders understand in detail the various aspects of the electoral process. Mwebale nnyo bana okujja okuwuliriza obubaka buno obuweereddwa olunaku lwaleero. Ekiwandiiko kino mu bumpi kiweereddwa ku mikutu gyaffe ne ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa bannamawulire. So kino kigenda kugobererwa okusomesa okugenda okukolebwa ku radio, ku TV ne mu mpapula z'amawulire ne ku mikutu gyaffe egya social media. So thank you very much once again. And now, as you are aware, the commission is heading to Kalangala, and we will excuse ourselves at this moment. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Lord Chair and the commission.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.